Hello, friends, and a very warm welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving straight into a space filled with thought-provoking ideas and some truly practical wisdom, the kind that can bring real, meaningful change to your daily life. So, settle in, take a deep breath, and let's embark on this reflective journey together. We're looking at concepts from Move Your World from Within, and honestly, out of all the ideas explored in this work, the one we're covering today is incredibly simple, yet absolutely powerful. It's a foundational metaphor. Think about a drop of water, and then think about a tiny cut on your skin. We've all heard the phrases, right? The ocean is made up of drops, and death by 1,000 cuts. I just want you to pause for a second and really let those words sink in. Section 1, the illusion of size overlooking the microscopic. You see, a single drop of water just seems so insignificant, doesn't it? And a tiny scratch on the skin, it appears totally negligible. But when we zoom out and look at the extremes, the contrast is just staggering. I mean, the ocean feels mighty, vast, and completely overwhelming. And the idea of death, well, that feels final, dramatic, and quite frankly, frightening. We naturally stand in absolute awe before the ocean. And on the flip side, we feel fear and helplessness in the face of death. It's fascinating how we have these huge, dramatic reactions to massive outcomes, yet we completely disregard the tiny, seemingly invisible elements that actually create them. But the reality is, the ocean is literally nothing but accumulated drops. And here is a profound truth really worth absorbing. Most forms of decline in our lives, whether we're talking physical, financial, emotional, or moral, they almost never happen in one single dramatic moment. No, they're usually just the accumulation of many, many small, repeated damages over time. Now, just to be completely rational and clear here, of course, sudden accidents do happen. Sudden illnesses definitely occur, we know that. But in almost every other area of life, your health, your relationships, your reputation, your success, collapse is highly gradual long before it ever becomes visible to the outside world. And honestly, that is exactly where the real lesson lies for us today. Which brings us to Section 2, what we ignore, missing the invisible. In our day-to-day lives, we completely ignore the drops. We ignore the cuts. We're wired to only notice the ocean, to only focus on that final outcome. And you know what? That creates a massive blind spot for us. So let's define our terms a bit more clearly for this metaphor. When we say drops, we're talking about small, consistent, highly constructive habits. Cuts, on the other hand, represent those small, repeated, harmful habits. You know the ones, the habits we easily justify in our own minds, even though they are usually very easy to correct. Section 3, the drops we ignore, building greatness. Let's look at the positive side first and understand how these overlooked drops are secretly building greatness. We're talking about those small, constructive habits that we gloss over simply because, well, they don't look very dramatic or exciting in the moment. Just think about the sheer simplicity of some of these actions. Waking up slightly earlier, practicing a skill for just 20 minutes a day, completing your work on time or maybe even a little early, brushing your teeth twice a day, drinking enough water, exercising for just 15 minutes, speaking politely to someone even when you're feeling irritated, or saving just a tiny percentage of your income. None of these look like a big deal, right? None of these are going to create an instant transformation overnight, but every single drop contributes. Your confidence, it's built by drops. Your competence is built by drops. Your reputation and your financial stability, yep, both built by drops. Greatness is incredibly rarely built in a single day. Instead, it is accumulated quietly, day by day, drop by drop. Section 4, the cuts we ignore, the anatomy of collapse. So let's flip the coin and look at the other side. Let's think about those small, easily correctable, but ultimately harmful habits that we somehow manage to justify to ourselves every single day. Consider the typical cuts we all make. Procrastination, saying to yourself, oh, just one cigarette, or just one drink, being 5 minutes late, but repeatedly, making one unnecessary expense, grabbing fast food just one more time, telling yourself, I'll restart tomorrow, or even telling one small lie just to protect your ego. Individually, sure, each of these looks totally harmless. But the thing is, cuts rarely ever come alone. They repeat, and worse, they compound. And this brings us to something absolutely crucial to grasp. Repeated cuts fundamentally weaken systems. Sure, one cigarette isn't going to instantly destroy your health. One missed deadline won't ruin your entire career. One ignored workout isn't going to break your body. But the patterns absolutely do. Because of these patterns, your body weakens gradually, your discipline weakens gradually, trust and self-respect weaken gradually. And then, one day, the effect finally becomes visible. People look at it and call it sudden. But you and I know the truth. It was accumulating silently the whole time. Section 5. The core principle. Results versus repetition. If you take away anything from this explainer, it should be this core principle. Results might appear in a single moment, but they are built entirely in repetition. There is just this massive divide between what we actually see and what is really happening beneath the surface. The ocean is highly visible, right? But the drops are invisible. Death is visible, but the cuts are invisible. People love to celebrate success on the exact day it becomes visible, but they rarely acknowledge the years of tiny drops that went into it. Same goes for failure. People mourn it when it becomes obvious, completely missing the months or even years of small cuts that preceded it. That's exactly why having an awareness of the small things is infinitely more powerful than obsessing over the big things. Moving to Section 6, Inner Work and Practical Wisdom. As the source material so wonderfully explains, your world changes when your daily patterns change. It's your inner discipline that ultimately shapes your outer reality. Where you repeatedly place your attention, that's what shapes your future. What you repeatedly do, especially when nobody else is watching you, that becomes your ocean. And what you repeatedly neglect, even in the smallest of ways, becomes your silent damage. So don't obsess over the ocean. Focus entirely on the drops. And don't live in constant fear of a sudden collapse. Just correct the cuts as they happen. So whenever you're feeling totally overwhelmed by your big goals, I want you to step back and just ask yourself one simple question. What is one single drop I can add today? Think about that for a second. And conversely, when you find yourself fearing failure or a setback, ask yourself this: what small cut must I stop repeating? Really reflect on that, because life almost never changes dramatically overnight. It changes quietly, slowly, through the incredible power of accumulation. Section 7. Final reflection. Your future ocean. To wrap up everything we've talked about today, just remember this. Greatness is hidden in your everyday actions. And collapse, well, that's hidden in your everyday neglect. Most people only ever notice the final day, but truly wise people, they protect the daily pattern. Let me say that again, because it's so important. Protect the daily pattern. Your future ocean is forming, quite literally right now. I highly advise you to give the absolute utmost importance to your drops and stay highly alert to your cuts. Because, whether you realize it or not, your ocean is currently under construction. All of these beautiful, profound ideas are directly inspired by the book you see here, Move Your World from Within, by Nikhil P. Bhandari, where many practical and thought-provoking concepts like this are explored in deep detail. I strongly encourage you all to develop a solid habit of reading, to take the time to reflect deeply, and most importantly, to take action every single day. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer today. Before we part ways, I want to leave you with one final provocative thought to carry with you throughout your day. Which drop will you add to your ocean today? Keep building quietly and consistently. Thank you.